Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here and welcome to my guide to Pandemonium Abyssos, the 5th circle on the normal difficulty. Being in normal mode raid, it's not so bad, but there are timestamps to skip around to specific attacks if you need them. This encounter has you face off against the Proto-Carbuncle, which really just combines a few attacks a bunch of different ways throughout the fight. Its basic raid-wide is Sonic Howl, and its tank buster is Crunch, so handle these as you would any other version of these attacks. They have another raid-wide, but it's coupled with a mechanic, so we'll cover that shortly. Carbuncle will open the fight by jumping to a corner and using Searing Ray. This is a 180 degree AoE in the direction Carbuncle is facing, so just get behind him. Note the magic staff animation rotating around the boss, as that indicates an interaction with the next mechanic. It will follow this up with Ruby Glow. This attack does damage to the entire party and also erects a reflect barrier across the room. This barrier will reflect any magic attacks Carbuncle performs back in the direction it came. To show you this, Carbuncle immediately jumps to another corner and uses Searing Ray again. You'll see this time it just reflects back into the area that the Carbuncle is standing in, so you want to be on the other side of the barrier for its attack. After a crunch, Carbuncle will use Topaz Stones. This drops several topazes on the ground, which just explode in a small AoE. However, note those stabs that are floating around them again. Carbuncle will use Ruby Glow again, this time cutting the arena into 4 quadrants separated by the barriers. It'll then summon 2 Topaz Stones to cover 2 quadrants. Whatever quadrant they are in will completely explode, so just get into one of the empty quadrants. After a bunch of AoEs, a tank buster, and a Searing Ray, Carbuncle will start freaking out before jumping to the middle of the room to use Acidic Slaver. This will stun everyone and initiate a phase transition. In this phase, Crunch becomes Toxic Crunch, leaving behind a poison dot on the tank it hits. It's nothing major though, so just heal through it. This new phase will use a bunch of phase 1 mechanics and introduce a couple of new ones. The first combo is simply Ruby Glow plus Topaz Stones. This time, 3 quadrants will have stones in them, so you just want to stand in the one empty quadrant. After a Toxic Crunch on the tank is Venom Squall. This attack drops AoEs under several players and also gives everyone a spread AoE. Just move out of the ground AoEs and spread. It's easier if they're stacked up, but Duty Finder probably won't do that most of the time. Right as the spreads hit, there is a stack damage marker put on a player as well. Heal up and then take that hit together. After a Sonic Howl is Topaz Stones. This one, however, has poison topazes, which are gradually expanding poison AoEs. One of the stones will be the original small AoE stone, so just get into the quadrant with the exploding stone and you'll be safe from all the puddles. After Topaz Stones, Carbuncle will prepare a Jumping Crunch AoE. The teeth marker will travel to each arrow marker one at a time, rotating either clockwise or counterclockwise before entering the middle. I'd recommend finding the 4th spot the teeth marker travels to and waiting for the first AoE to resolve. Once it does, move towards that spot, cheating towards the outer edge to avoid that center AoE. Any player hit will be stunned and eventually eaten if they are not just killed outright. Players eaten will be spit out and instantly killed on impact, as will any other players near that impact point. So just don't get eaten. Next up is Ruby Glow plus Topaz Stones again. This time the stones will come down one at a time, exploding in their respective quadrants. Just stand out of the exploding ones and move into them once they become safe. I usually go from the 4th quadrant to the 1st, but the movement is so minor that you can do whatever works. After jumping away to do Searing Ray will be another Ruby Glow plus Topaz Stones. This time the arena will be cut in half, with one side having an exploding topaz while the poison one expands from the opposite side. Get away from the poison topaz and onto the side opposite of the exploding one. Carbuncle will jump to a side and reflect a Searing Ray after the topaz explodes, so just get to the side opposite of him once that happens. After a Toxic Crunch will be one final Ruby Glow plus Topaz Stones. This one will have 2 quadrants with the exploding topaz and 1 with the expanding poison topaz. Just get to the 1 remaining quadrant while Carbuncle casts Venom Squall. This works the same as before, you just now have the topazes to contend with. Once the 2 exploding stones go off, just spread somewhere within the remaining 3 quadrants not in the poison puddle. Then group up for the split damage AoE right after, and you're good. One more Sonic Howl, and you've now seen the whole fight. From this point on, the final phase is just on repeat, minus the Jumping Crunch attack, For some reason, Carbuncle only ever does that attack once, or he does it so infrequently that after standing there for 15 minutes, I just never saw it again. Either way, congrats on the clear. You can win one of those armor tokens from the chest once per week, and rarely an Orchestrion will drop, which has no such limitation, so you can roll on that at your leisure. Anyway, thanks for watching my normal mode guide to Abyssos 5th Circle. We will be, of course, releasing a Savage guide, but Savage was delayed 1 week, so you'll have to wait a little bit longer. The content has to be here before I can make the guide. Anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care.